Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Thanks for the lulz.
We're home. We're fucking home, baby.
I lost so much gambling. What's up, Lizzie? Why are you not bald?
I fucking love these videos.
For the past several years, Super Mario Bros. Speedruns have been going on a journey. I'm not talking about the full game speedrun. That's an incredible story of its own. No, I'm talking about speedruns of the individual levels, completing a single stage from start to finish as fast as possible. The 8 levels in an any percent run have individually been optimized to near perfection, but a few years ago that wasn't the case. Players have had to figure out seemingly impossible tricks and break the game in ways previously unimaginable. This is Super Mario Bros. The Human Limit.
Hooray! He makes the best videos, I swear.
First, a few basics. To beat Super Mario Bros. As fast as humanly possible, you start in 1-1, play through 1-2, then warp to 4-1, play 4-2, warp to 8-1, then play 8-2, 8-3, and finally 8-4 to finish the game.
We all knew this, yeah.
That's
Very
2
obvious.
levels in World 1, 2 levels in World 4, and 4 levels in World 8, for a total of 8 levels. Normally, for an any percent speedrun, you have to play through all 8 of these levels consecutively, beating the entire game. But here's the thing, since Super Mario Bros. Has been so broken down and optimized over the years, we actually know fairly definitively what the fastest possible time is. It comes out to 454.26. This was pulled off in a tool.
People don't realize how hard this fucking game really is. It is brutal. This is not easy at all. Even just doing these 8 levels is fucking hell.
Tool-assisted speedrun,
It'll be 8 hours.
or a TAS, where the player uses save states, slowdown, and frame by frame
easy.
to create a theoretically perfect speedrun in an emulator, by a TASer named Maru. There's a slightly faster version of the TAS at 454.03 by Happy Lee, but that version allows you to press left and right on the controller to accelerate faster, which can't be done on a normal NES controller. So, 454.26 is our perfect time. Unless something new is discovered.
See, like, I don't think people realize in chat, I said it took me 8 hours. This guy did it, these people do it in 4 minutes.
It's physically impossible to beat Super Mario Bros. Faster than 454.26.
Ooh.
Now, if you know much about Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning, you probably know about the game's frame rule system. Essentially, Super Mario Bros. Only checks to see if you've beaten a level every 21 frames, or every 0.35 seconds. So, in every stage, you can only gain time in increments of 21 frames. There's an analogy for this created by former world record holder Darbian, so I'll let him explain it to you.
Imagine that this little castle that Mario walks into is not a castle but a bus stop. And imagine that in the Mushroom Kingdom, buses operate on a very, very specific schedule such that every 0.35 seconds, a bus departs a station and takes its passengers to the following level. So no matter how quickly you play a level, you have to wait for the next bus to depart to get there.
Yeah.
And what this means is that when you speedrun the game, you don't have to play each
Drizzy, baby! You're insane. Thank you for the 50. What's up, dude?
level perfectly to avoid losing time. You just have to play each level well enough to get on the same bus as somebody who did play perfectly.
So, the goal is to catch the same bus as a perfect run. This frame roll system applies in every stage except 8-4, where timing stops immediately upon touching the axe.
Of course.
And so, getting the fastest possible frame rolls plus a frame perfect 8-4 puts the run at 454.26. Now, let's go back to 2016. The sum of perfection at that point was a frame slower.
It was a good year.
But for simplicity's sake, we're just going to keep it at 454.26. That was the perfect time. The sum of best that humans had pulled off was 457.01, 2.75 seconds behind perfection. That time difference came from the fact that on each of the 7 levels before 8-4, the best humans had done was 1 frame roll behind perfect.
Damn.
No more, no less. Humans were off by 1 frame roll in each stage. The fastest ways humans could beat stages usually involved just running to the end as fast as possible.
Of course.
There were some tough tricks, yes, but the task frame rolls each involved doing something extra. Clipping into blocks, doing frame-perfect maneuvers, all tricks that humans didn't know how to do. One of these tricks in particular appeared over and over again in the run. This is the flagpole glitch.
Oh shit, baby.
By very precisely clipping into the flagpole block, you can make the level end without having the flag slide to the bottom.
Damn.
You can see here how Mario reaches the castle faster without having to wait for the flag. In some cases, this is enough to save a frame roll. In 1-1, 4-1, and 8-3, the task uses the flagpole glitch to do just that. In those 3 stages, the flagpole glitch was the difference between humans and the task.
Ooh.
But for years, nobody knew how to do it in real time. To clip into the block,
Drizzy, you're fine,
not
man.
only does the jump have to be perfectly timed, but Mario's sub-pixel positioning also needs to be correct. That's his position within a pixel. Certain inputs will change this position by a lot, so getting the correct ones couldn't be done reliably.
That's sick. That's sick.
That, combined with needing the perfect jump to get in position,
Look at those jumps,
and
man.
needing to do the proper inputs once in the block to touch the flagpole, put this trick out of reach.
Insanity.
At least until late 2015, when players started to look into it a bit more. That December, a runner named DoorTK made a save state from a jump on the staircase, and brute forced the inputs of the block until he was able to touch the pole. It was the first time a human had done the end inputs for a flagpole glitch.
This dude's a nerd.
A few months later, runner Mav6771 replicated it and then went a step further,
Mav!
using a save state from the pipe instead of during the jump. This was the first ever full flagpole glitch done in real time.
I wasn't there.
It was starting to come
Chat, what's going on with the goddamn pleb test, alright? Like, what the hell's going on here? I see half you guys are subbed to everyone else besides me. I'm getting pissed.
together. But for this to be official, it had to be pulled off in a full level. And there was a lot needed for that to happen. You needed to be fast enough in the underground to save the frame rule, then jump from the perfect pixel off the staircase, then hope you got the right sub-pixels from a mid-air hesitation, and finally, do the perfect inputs at the block to clip in.
Nasty.
Just the luck from the sub-pixels alone put the trick at 1 in several dozen. But even for the best players in the world, chaining all of that together would be in the magnitude of 1 in several hundred.
No
The community
way.
needed the best of the best for a chance to pull this off.
Moxie.
The player who was most likely to hit multiple frame-perfect tricks in a row. Who would it be?
Simply.
Well, how about the world record holder, Darbian?
Darby, baby!
0.35 seconds.
On August 19th, 2016, Darbian successfully hit the flagpole glitch in 1-1. For the first time ever, the perfect frame roll had been achieved in a level of Super Mario Bros.
Where were you? He
It
caught the
was
bus, baby.
impossible to save even another frame. Now, there were 2 more levels the flagpole glitch could be used on, 4-1 and 8-3.
He's not doing
But
both.
keep in mind, with the sub-pixels and frame-perfect maneuvers needed, these would each be 1 in several hundred chances. But luckily, a month later, the community would get some help. Sockfolder is a speedrunning wizard, best known for discovering the cannonless setup in Super Mario 64
We know that one!
and various tricks in Zelda Ocarina of Time. By September 2016, he was looking into ways to make the flagpole glitch consistent.
You couldn't.
More specifically, finding a way to control Mario's subpixel value to make the trick possible every time. He had a bot that ran thousands of input combinations at the end of the level, before finding a setup that involved landing on this step without holding B, then holding right and B for 2 frames before doing a full jump. If done properly, this gives Mario the subpixel values he needs so he can always clip into the block. This setup meant that the 1-1 and 4-1 flagpole glitches could be performed much more consistently. And it was just a matter of time before Darbian was able to match the perfect frame rule of 4-1.
Darbian, you sick fuck. There it is, baby.
The second stage to hit perfection. 8-3 required a slightly different setup to manipulate subpixels, but just 2 weeks later, on September 30th, Mav was able to pull it off. That made it 3 stages that were completed perfectly. Over the course of just 2 months, the sum of best was taken down over a full second. 3 levels down. But after the flagpole glitch revolution was done, everything slowed down.
Aw, man.
The problem was, these final 4 stages required tricks much more difficult than a flagpole glitch. In fact, they seemed impossible. Here's why. In 1-2, you would have to do a trick called the pipe clip. This standard method of completing the level was to run on the ceiling above the pipe, enter the warp zone,
I did that.
and head into World 4. Easy enough. But to get the perfect frame rule, you would have to do this clip into the pipe, then scroll the screen far enough while preserving enough speed to turn around and make it in time. You can see here that, if done fast enough, the pipe clip method does save the frame rule.
Ooh.
The problem was the difficulty of stringing everything together. You need to land right next to the pipe, slow to walking speed, press jump for just 1 frame so you don't go too high, stop the clip at the right time, then scroll the screen far enough so that World 4 loads, and turn around to go in the pipe.
Boom.
It also all had to be done fast enough to save the frame rule. Humans weren't coming close to getting it. In 4-2, you have to do a wrong warp where you push Mario forward on the screen, leaving the warp zone loaded while you go down this pipe, and the game is fooled into sending you to the warp zone while skipping the vine animation.
Oh, that's huge.
This isn't hard to do in real time, but the key is getting it all as fast as possible. By a combination of an extremely fast clip, impeccable movement into the pipe, and a quick turnaround in the warp zone, it was technically possible to make the fastest frame rule. But people didn't even know where to begin to make that happen in real time. Nobody even tried to save it.
Nobody.
That's how out of reach it was.
But Darbian.
8-1's frame rule involved doing a flagpole glitch at the end, just like 1-1, 4-1, and 8-3. However, there was a catch. Since you normally finish 8-1 with 0 frames to spare, you had to save a full 21 frames over normal in this stage to make the next frame rule. A sock folder setup flagpole glitch only saves 15 frames. That could increase to 19 if you performed it without slowing down. However, you'd have to find a way to manipulate your subpixels beforehand. But you still needed to save 2 more frames, which you could get via a fast acceleration at the start of the level. Mario accelerates slightly faster while facing opposite the direction he's moving, so by doing a small backwards jump at the start, it's
cool.
possible to save exactly 2 frames. But to do so, you need to hold B and left for 1 frame, then hold B alone for another frame, then hold B right and A for a frame so Mario jumps, then hold B and right.
That's sick, dude. I
Each
feel like
of
I'm in
those
math
moves
class.
had to be frame perfect and only last for 1 frame. Humans really struggle to do inputs that precise, so combined with the incredibly hard flagpole glitch at the end, 8-1 was out of the question. And finally, there was 8-2. This stage wasn't understood too well, but it was believed that to save the perfect frame rule, you had to play the whole stage flawlessly down to the frame. and that involved a fast acceleration at the start of the level, a maneuver over the piranha plant that lost 0 frames,
That's so cool.
and at the end, a frame-perfect bullet bill glitch. This is a trick similar to the flagpole glitch where you bounce off the bullet bill and clip into the block, but instead of just skipping the flag animation, it also skips Mario walking to the castle. This trick would also have to be performed on the first possible frame to save the frame rule. The fast acceleration, the multiple frame-perfect input piranha plant jump, and the frame-perfect bullet bill glitch. Getting one of those 3 would be hard enough. As far as everyone was concerned, getting all 3 was essentially impossible.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
So, once again, the 8-2 frame rule was ruled out. That's 4 stages. Each of them had 1 frame rule to be saved, but none of them were even being attempted. The only one that seemed remotely possible was the 1-2 clip, thanks to Happy Lee's setup where you could clip into the pipe with proper subpixels. World record contender Cosmic did serious attempts at getting the 1-2 clip in October 2016, and was able to clip into the pipe, but he was still several frames too slow to save the frame rule. If one of the best players in the world wasn't able to get this, it was beginning to seem hopeless. These perfect frame rules were just too much to ask, and months passed with nothing new.
You know what? It's fine, man. It was a good
Then,
video.
suddenly, in April 2017, a Mario runner posted some rapid progress in 1-2. First clipping into the pipe from a save state,
No.
then doing the same from the start of the level,
No.
but just missing the frame rule.
What?
And then, on April 16th, he did it.
No!
Out of nowhere, somebody had just saved the 1-2 frame rule. Who was the runner? Well, you might have heard of him before.
No way. Andrew G, baby!
On April 16th, Andrew G became the first player to save the frame rule in 1-2. He mastered the 1-frame A-press, the clip into the pipe, and the movement in the warp zone.
My boy!
He was also always able to get proper subpixels for the clip by avoiding slowing down for even a single frame in the rest of the stage. 1-2 was now the 4th stage to reach perfection.
Nice.
That made it just 3 stages where the perfect frame rule hadn't been matched. The problem, of course, was that these 3 stages went way beyond the difficulty of the first 4.
Yeah, you can't do that. There's no way.
You had the task-like movement needed in 4-2, the fast acceleration and flagpole glitch needed in 8-1, and the frame-perfect everything needed in 8-2. None of these stages were viable. At least, not without some help. But in early 2018, that's exactly what the community would get. A setup to make one of these stages at least a little bit more reasonable. And once again, it came from a familiar face. It's time to visit an old friend. This is 420 Blaze It.
Hey! Dude, that guy was in my COD lobby
420
once.
Blaze It is best known for creating a 4-2 wall clip setup for any percent runs. He's a tasser who's adept at coming up with human viable setups for hard
Adept.
tricks. This time, he was looking at 8-1, and in November 2017, he posted a video of a possible way to save the 8-1 frame rule. The start of the stage featured a fast acceleration.
You gotta do that.
This was still incredibly hard. For the flagpole glitch at the end, however, he jumped off of this step, very briefly tapped left in the air, and clipped into the block. The left tap was slight enough that Mario never actually slowed down, but significant enough that it changed his subpixel value to allow for the clip. This was still super hard, as it featured jumping for 1 frame less than a full jump and an incredibly precise tap of the left button. But at the very least, it showed the trick was humanly possible.
That's good.
The next step was getting a human to perform it, and in March 2018, Stuck in a Plate wanted to be the first. Plate is an incredibly talented speedrunner, the record holder in Ghosts and Goblins,
USA, baby.
top 10 in Ninja Gaiden, and in March 2018 he was 4th place in Super Mario Bros. He had the platforming expertise needed to pull this off, but first he wanted to find a way to make the subpixel manipulation a bit easier. So, he spent 12 hours straight working on it. In the end, he realized that the left press could be
I don't know
done
why
during
12
any
hours
jump in the
doesn't sound
level
impressive
and
to me
still
for these
work.
guys.
and a small jump off the top step would work to clip into the block. Those 2 steps made the no slowdown flagpole glitch easier. So, he started doing attempts to get the full level, and about 20 minutes later, he did this.
Sick, you got the frames. Simply. Oh, I thought that was a skin, that's a shirt.
That was the 5th stage down. In a year and a half, the community had gone from this to this. The flagpole
A2's
glitch,
impossible, though.
pipe clips, and fast accelerations were each revolutionary in their own way.
There's no way they can
2
do A2.
stages left. So close to perfection. The community was on a roll. But suddenly, that roll stopped. A year came and went without any new improvements.
No!
2019 came around, with 4.2 and 8.2 still remaining unsolved.
What a bad year.
Remember, these 2 stages were essentially believed to be impossible to get the perfect frame rule on.
I love these videos.
In 4.2, you'd have to figure out a faster way to get Mario forward on the screen, combined with task-like movement in the warp zone. And in 8.2, you needed sheer perfection from start to finish. Perfection that would even be harder than 8-1. 8.2 in particular was believed to be the hardest frame roll to save in the entire
There's
game.
no shot they could do
And it
A2.
makes sense why. The frame roll had 0 frames to spare, and had several nearly impossible tricks throughout. A certain other speedrunning YouTuber even told 7.5 million people that the perfect 8.2 frame roll was impossible.
It can
Wait, is he throwing shade?
be ruled out.
You had a fast acceleration, a jump with multiple frame-perfect inputs, and a frame-perfect bullet bill glitch.
Dude, who did he
It
throw
was
shade at?
believed that getting all of these tricks in a row to save the frame rule on the last possible frame was humanly impossible.
He threw shade at Bismuth? Who's that? Someone I am definitely not subscribing to. Who are you? Bismuth. Bismuth is the chemical element with the symbol. That's not what I fucking wanted. Alright, what is this? Bismuth. Certain somebody, huh? I don't know if I can believe any of your videos now because you didn't believe in the community.
But it turns out, this belief was sort of unfounded, for the simple reason that nobody had really tried to do it before. There was just a perception that they would all be too difficult for a human to chain together.
Yeah, that's
That
insane.
perception made sense, but by 2019, somebody decided they might as well try. And who better to do that than 420 Blaze It? In July 2019, Blaze It started to create a proof of concept for 8.2.
Nice.
He used a save state before the fast acceleration, a save state before the plant jump, and a save state before the bullet bill glitch to try and see if he could save the frame rule. And it took him a lot of attempts, but with 3 save states to use, he was actually able to get it.
Damn.
There were a lot of frame perfect inputs, but practice eventually led to him getting them all. Blaze It mentioned that the plant jump in particular was incredibly hard.
Yeah, I can see that.
But with enough tries, he was even able to make it past that. So, once again, Blaze It had proven that a task frame rule could be saved.
Weed
The
smokers can't be
misconception
smart,
had
chat.
been broken. The only thing left was somebody
Casey
pulling it
Tron was
off
right
in
all
real
along.
time. Back in 2016, when the flagpole glitch setups were first discovered, the community looked toward the world record holder to pull them off first. By 2019, the record holder had changed, but the principle had stayed the same. The person who put attempts in to save the 8.2 frame rule was the best player the game had. The world record holder, Taven Webb.
Who? Nice window.
I got it. I think I got it. We did it. We got it. We freaking did it already.
And just like that, another stage down. Celebration rang out amongst the community. Funnily enough,
That's
players
sick.
would later discover that Taven actually didn't have to be frame perfect to save this frame rule. With the perfect fast acceleration, he actually had a frame of wiggle room,
No way.
Thanks to Blazeit and Taven's combined efforts, there was now just one more frame rule to be saved. 4-2. This last frame rule was really quite different from all the others that came before it. As explained before, to get the wrong warp to work, you need to push Mario forward on the screen at least 20 pixels. That would allow you to reach this pipe with the warp zone still loaded, since the screen is further back than Mario is. The key to doing this trick fast was figuring out how to get Mario forward by 20 pixels as quickly as possible. There were two main methods for humans. One was a wall clip discovered by 420 Blazeit, where you tap left to clip into the wall and get pushed forward by 20 pixels.
Yes.
The other was two backwards bumps discovered by Andrew G, each potentially pushing Mario 10 pixels to make the wrong warp possible.
I think I did that.
The wall clip method from Blazeit, even if optimally performed, was a few frames too slow to save the frame rule. The two bump method, on the other hand, was slightly faster, and in September 2018, runner King of Johnny Boy proved that by doing everything perfectly down to the frame, you could make the fastest frame roll with no time to spare. However, that entailed getting 10 pixels from each bump, doing extremely difficult inputs and getting proper sub-pixels
I'm not
and
buying it.
sub-speed
I don't think
to
they can
stop
do
on
it.
the pipe perfectly, doing a double fast acceleration in the warp zone to save an additional frame, and once again a combination of perfect inputs and sub-pixels to turn around perfectly.
It's not happening.
This combination was magnitudes of difficulties higher than any other stage. Simply put, it wasn't happening.
That's right. I knew it.
Later on that month, however, Happy Lee showed an alternative method that was a bit faster. It involved clipping into the top brick of the wall and jumping out of it to get back up to speed faster. However, this trick was incredibly hard too, as you had to slow down as you jumped to avoid hitting this block, then speed back up by pressing right, then finally tap left again to clip into the wall. Once in the wall, you had to do multiple frame-perfect inputs to get out of it with maximum speed.
I'm not buying it.
People tried this trick, but it too wasn't happening. Small improvements would be made to both the 2-bump and top wall clip methods, and players tried both, but had little success being fast enough to save the frame rule.
That's sick, though.
2019 came around,
Nothing.
and then 2020. Nothing. This was the one level that couldn't be solved. And then someone had an idea. In June 2020, a third method for possibly saving the frame rule was found. At first, it was brushed off as just another hopeless possibility. But as time went on, runners realized that this method was something different. It was really hard. Of course it was.
No shit.
But it gave just enough wiggle room to make it doable. And this is what it looked like. It started with an 11 pixel bump from the elevator. It's normally next to impossible to get 11 pixels from a backwards bump like this, but by manipulating both your sub-pixel and sub-speed values with a precise input combination, you could reliably get 11 pixels. You could then get the remaining 9 pixels from doing a backwards wall jump off of this pipe.
That's sick.
The wall jump is a glitch, where if you hit a specific pixel in a wall between two blocks, the game thinks Mario is standing for exactly one frame.
What?
If you jump on that frame, you can jump off of the wall without hitting the ground. That meant it had to be both a pixel-perfect jump into the wall and a frame-perfect jump to execute the wall jump. But if both of those were pulled off, you could get the second backwards bump off of the pipe. Quickly entering the pipe also involves subspeed manipulation and more precision from your inputs. Of course, in the warp zone itself, you'd have to do another fast acceleration and a quick turnaround into the pipe. But the method in the underground section was possible. This strategy was once again discovered by King of Johnny Boy, and it was a big one. A few people tried to get this frame rule in late 2020 and early 2021, but the frontrunner was a player named Nifsky. the second place runner and former world record holder. He had the strategy. He just had to pull it off, and the last frame rule would be saved. It was time to make history.
Oh, this is when the song comes in.
And where's my 11 pixels at, man?
He's playing with the fucking keyboard?
Oh my gosh! Please! Please! Yes! 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 Oh my god! I did it! Let's freaking go!
Dude, I love this song.
Oh my god! I can't believe it!
Hey, you're dead.
Mizkif had just saved the last frame rule for an any % speedrun of Super Mario Bros. After half a decade of collaboration from the community, it was impossible to save another frame on any level.
Damn.
Absolute perfection.
We are tied with every frame rule all the way up until 8-4!
Well, until 8-4, that is. 8-4 is the last level in Super Mario Bros., and it's unique because, as mentioned before, it doesn't operate on the frame rule system. The timing ends on the exact frame when Mario touches the axe at the end, which isn't tied to a frame rule. That means that to be perfect in 8-4, you have to actually play the stage perfectly down to the frame. There's no being close enough. It's the only level in Super Mario Bros. That works like that. The stage itself is broken down into 5 rooms. A starting room where you simply run to the end and go in the pipe. The next room where you have to do a wall jump off of a pipe to make it in fast. The turnaround room where you have to do a wrong warp by scrolling the screen to load the next zone, then turning around to go in a pipe quickly. A water room where you have to
there's
swim
no
to the
bus
end,
here. This is
and
the final
finally
stop.
the last room where you jump past Bowser to touch the axe. There's a lot that goes into this to do it quickly, but all the way back in November 2013, Cosmic submitted one of the earliest 8-4 records. It was quite impressive for the time, and there were even people that thought it might be the closest 8-4 would ever be to perfect.
That's a cap.
Even Cosmic himself thought that, titling the video "The Closest 8-4 Will Ever Be to Perfect."
What clickbait?
That was a bold move.
Clickbait.
But this was a really good 8-4. He started off the first room with a fast acceleration, then dashed into the pipe. In the wall jump room, he did a frame-perfect jump to avoid slowing down or hitting a pipe, then did the frame-perfect, pixel-perfect wall jump facing backwards to accelerate faster. In the turnaround room, he only scrolled the screen 1 pixel past where he had to do the wrong warp.
Ooh.
In the water section, he managed to navigate Mario almost perfectly between the ground and the fire bars.
Almost, though. You know?
Losing just 1 frame on the exit by touching the ground a frame too early.
I saw that.
And in the last room, he ran under Bowser to finish it off. Adding this 8-4 onto the perfect first 7 stages that would be achieved years later put the human sum of best at 454.71. Remember, the theoretical limit was 454.26, meaning there was a 0.45 difference in 8-4. Less than
What's
half
this
a
video
second
called?
from perfection.
Perfection, baby.
But was Cosmic right? Was this the best 8-4 possible?
No.
No. No, it was not. A couple years later, Cosmic beat his own record and lowered the time down to 454.56. The key was fast accelerations. Back in
Wait, a
2013,
couple years later in 2020.
Cosmic was under the impression that a fast acceleration could only save 1 frame. But by 2016, the community had gained the knowledge that if performed optimally in the first room and turnaround room, it could save up to 5 frames in each spot.
Ooh.
That's what Cosmic did, as well as adding 1 into the wall jump room to save up to another 2 frames.
My God.
This time would later be tied by Stuck in a Plate, but a little over a year later, Cosmic lowered it even more, 454.53.
A few years for
creeping ever closer to
0.01
perfection.
of a second.
Most future records from here on out were played on a ROM hack that gave information about your pace on the top of the screen. However, no gameplay was modified, so it's legal. Once again, the time save came from improving the fast accelerations. It was really hard to save 5 frames with each, but Cosmic was able to get closer.
My boy.
Eddie Cat Gaming tied this time a few months later, before GTAce lowered it by 1 frame. 454.51, just a quarter of a second away. But at this point, 8.4 was getting really optimized. The fast accelerations, the perfect movement, everything was either perfect or a frame away from perfect. Where did the rest of the difference come from? Well, other than a frame here and there from tighter execution, double fast accelerations were part of the key. If performed in the turnaround room properly, doing another fast acceleration immediately after the first would bring Mario up to speed 1 frame faster.
Whoa,
However,
mama.
this involves extremely quick switches from left to right on the D-pad. You had to be holding right, tap left and A for 1 frame, then switch to right again.
My God.
It's much more difficult than a normal fast acceleration. Similar was the falling fast acceleration, where you accelerate facing backwards
That's
off a ledge
sick.
to save an additional frame. 4 frames in total could be saved with these double fast accelerations.
Damn.
But as nobody had even pulled off one once, they were ruled out as being TAS only. But there was one other fast acceleration players could try. Since you have to quickly get back up to speed after turning around in the turnaround room, it was possible to do a fast acceleration there. Similarly to the other double fast accelerations, this trick required super quick and precise inputs. But the main benefit of this trick was if performed optimally, it could save up to 5 frames. For years, the world's best players tried saving time with it, but weren't able to. It was always slower than normal. That is, until Taven Web tried it in 2019.
Tavian?
Taven decided to try messing around with the impossible double fast acceleration, and to everyone's surprise, he was actually able to get it. He found himself saving multiple frames with it on good attempts, and for a while, he was the only one able to do so. This
Oh, that was
opened
bad.
the door to push the record much lower. If Taven could get it in a good run, a lot of time could come off. How far could he close the gap?
2 whole frames.
Yes! I tied it. I tied the record.
That's not good enough, sweetie. I need better.
Yes! That's it. Yes! Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
He's going the whole way. That's almost my birthday.
That's it. That, oh my gosh.
The time was now 454.39. Taven had lowered the gap to just 8 frames. That was the difference between humans and perfection in Super
No
Mario
way.
Bros.
That's sick.
He was more than 1/10 of a second ahead of anybody else on the leaderboard. Pure domination. The only time save Taven was going for that he didn't get was a single frame in the wall jump room. He was perfect everywhere else. And with the other double fast accelerations being out of reach, it's no surprise that this record stood for a long, long time.
Wait. Where'd the music go? Why is he not going faster? March, April, May.
Finally,
What-
by May 2020, someone was able to do it. Kriller was a Super Mario Bros. TASer and individual level specialist, and he had had a plethora of runs make it deep into 8.4 that barely died. But on May 7th, he managed to tie Taven to the frame. And crazily enough, even though it took 15 months for somebody to tie the record, it would just take a few hours for the next person to tie it.
I got it! Oh my god! I can't believe it!
This made it a 3-way tie between Taven, Kriller,
What
and
the
Nifsky.
fuck?
And ultimately,
There's no way it's
Nifsky would be the
exactly.
one to break it, lowering the time to 454.38.
Huh?
He got every frame he wanted to through the water section, so he was able to omit the last fast acceleration. GT Ace would later tie this time, so the very next day, Nifsky beat him by adding back in the fast acceleration in the final room. 454.36.
Is you're in an article trending on Google News? There's no way, link it.
And when Velxino tied this time a month later, Nifsky responded by squeezing out one more frame from the turnaround room to take it to 454.34. At 454.34, players were presented with a unique problem. They were starting to run out of frames to save. They were just 5 frames away from perfection. The problem was where these frames were located. One frame was from a falling fast acceleration in the first room. One was from a falling
Did I
fast
really pause
acceleration
this
in
for
the wall
that?
jump
Like, what
room.
the fuck was that?
2 were from a double fast acceleration and perfect movement in the turnaround room. And 1 was from a falling fast acceleration in the final room. 5 frames. All of them were from doing task fast accelerations. Humans couldn't do those, so the 8-4 record seemed to be at its limit.
Come on, don't do that to us. You're so close.
Well, one thing was clear. The only path forward was to try doing these fast
Backwards.
accelerations.
Oh.
Nobody had ever been able to do one before, so they appeared to be impossible. But in the past 5 years, players had done so much on other levels.
That's right.
Clipping into walls, doing flagpole glitches, doing fast accelerations.
What seemed impossible
At
has
points
become
in
possible.
time, all of those tricks were thought to be impossible too. After half a decade of this, the Super
make these
Mario
videos.
Bros. Community had made one thing very clear.
They don't give up.
Nothing was impossible.
Oh.
Oh wait, I might get this. I got it! I got it with both fast accels.
Wait, they're on Twitch!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Dude, this Nifsky's guy's going all the fucking way. There are 4 people tied for first!
Yes! Yes!
And there it goes. Nifsky takes it. Boom. I thought that said Chase Schlam for some reason.
Oh my god!
Woo, baby!
Yes! I freaking got it! Let's go!
Bro, Peach is beat.
This is the current human sum of best.
No, we're so close!
We are 2 frames away from completely running out of time to save in Super Mario Bros. A 30th of a second is what stands in the way between humans and perfection.
Why'd you make this video now? You can't do that
Of
unless...
the 2 remaining frames, one is in the turnaround room for manipulating subspeed and playing perfectly. It's extremely difficult, but there's no doubt this frame will be saved in a run one day,
Maybe it already...
lowering the sum of best to 454.28.
Maybe he's trolling us.
As for the last frame, it's in the first room from performing a falling fast acceleration. However, there are serious doubts as to whether or not this one is humanly possible.
No.
Not because of its precision or difficulty, but because we don't know if human fingers can actually move fast enough.
Are you telling me that there's one frame that is
release right
difference
for
between
only
us?
one frame, then quickly repress it,
Us and
tap
Mr.
left
Destructoids?
for one frame, and go back to holding right. It's never been pulled off at full speed before, but it's theorized that this trick would be easier on keyboard than with the controller, which would likely create a big controversy in the future. But that's it. Outside of those 2 frames, humans have solved Super Mario Bros. That's a rare accomplishment in speedrunning. It might shortly be impossible to save any more time, and the only thing that can
What
stop
blue
that
balls?
is a new time save.
What blue balls,
A
man?
new frame rule hasn't been found in Super Mario Bros. In over 10 years now, which is pretty incredible, but that doesn't mean there are for sure none left. The secrets to saving time might still be out there. We just have to find them.
Blue balls.
And maybe, just maybe, a 453 is in Super Mario Bros.' future. Thanks for watching.
Dude, don't do this to me, please. No, come on. Let's wait for the credits. Maybe someone else got the frames. We don't know. No. Somebody saw. Come on, man. Am I at the end of the video? Damn it. Somebody saw. I want you to put me as one frame like you did last time. One time to make me feel better about myself. Because your videos are literally the best content on YouTube. Besides my content. It's honestly right there. But it's damn close at number 2. You're like 2 frames away from being Mizkif's YouTube channel. Honestly. Like, you are right there. You're on your fucking way, dude. I don't even have to spam it because it's probably already in your fucking inbox. But these videos are godlike, chat. They're absolutely godlike. They're fucking perfect. They really are. Well, close, as I said. But damn, that's so good. Fuck, we're 2 frames away. You better make... Oh, you know why he did this? So now he can make another video, pretty much copying and pasting this one, and then talking about the last 10 minutes about the 2 frames that have been saved. Genius. Double dip, just like I did. Look, you get your Who Is video, then afterwards you put the react up. I know how it goes. I know how that shit goes. Hassan's sub count is 42,069. Yeah, can you make that like a speedrunning thing for Hassan's sub count? Dude, why... I don't understand this shit. You're all here and a lot of you are new, yet my sub count is lower than it was a year and a half ago. Like, what am I doing wrong?